Hi, my relatives. Welcome to this week's episode of Our Storytellers. Just wanted to quickly start off by saying that if you're in Newfoundland right now listening to this, prayers for you and your family. I hope everyone's keeping safe and doing the best you can. And yeah, just praying for you and your family out there. You know, I have family that's from Newfoundland, so prayers for everybody out there. But on today's episode of Our Storytellers, we're joined by Iris Newman. Iris is actually Yvonne's aunt. She grew up in the North Shore of Oslahan, and we go through a life story. We go through what it was like growing up in Oslahan at the time in their family farm, which was actually an old wartime house. And we talk about a lot of different things. I mean, she was an entrepreneur in the Indigenous Art business for a long time, and yeah, it was nice just to sit down and share some stories. I had a lot of fun. She is hilarious, by the way. It was so funny. So I really hope that you enjoy this episode. And please like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. But yeah, I think without further ado, we'll just kind of jump into it. So please welcome to the Our Storytellers podcast, Iris Newman.
Hello, my relatives. How are you? Here at Our Storytellers, we care about your spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical well-being, which is why we want to inform you that this podcast discusses topics that may cause trauma to listeners and viewers. These subjects include mentions of Indian residential schools, assimilation, ongoing harm, colonial impacts, and much more. Our Storytellers recognizes the need to minimize risks associated with traumatic subject matter. The Hope for Wellness Helpline offers immediate help to all Indigenous people across Canada. It is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to offer immediate support and crisis intervention. Services are available in English and French, and in Nehiyaw, Anishinaabe and Inuktitut upon request. If you or someone you know are experiencing any harm, no matter how big or small it's perceived to be, you can call the toll-free helpline at 1-855-242-3310 or connect to the online chat at www.hopeforwellness.ca. Kinanaskaman, I'm grateful for you. Your ancestors are always with you. All my relations, Riel.
Yeah, I don't know what my dad was thinking, bringing her on a fishing trip up north in the ocean.
That little, yeah.
Like, he's stupid or something, you know. Like, she fell off the fishing boat into the ocean.
Yeah,
And not only that, but this man jumped in to save her, but
he
was
drowned
gone
as
too.
well. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
And she would have been older than Mom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Mom came like after that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't even born then, I think, when Lorna drowned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't imagine having to come home and tell your
wife that you killed your baby.
Yeah, 3 years old.
3 years old.
I thought she was older, but I didn't realize she was 3.
No, she was really young. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Do you want to do protocol? Want me to do it? Me?
Scapiosa, my boy.
Iris, my name is Riel. I'm Métis from Nehiyaw and Soto background. My dad and Mom have been together since 11 years old, I guess? Since I was 11. So I joined the family a little bit later, I guess. But this blanket and this tobacco is for you to just sit down and share some stories with us. And I really appreciate you coming on and supporting. And this honorarium is funded by our partners, actually, from the Indigenous Screen office, who fund all these podcasts. And
yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, paid gig. And then it's just really important to make sure that I just want you to know how thankful and grateful I am to have you here. And Granny was my first guest ever in that room over there, actually. Small as ever. And yeah, so I'm gonna pass this over to you. And I mean, like, when you're ready, just introduce yourself in your own way.
Okay. I'll see you.
And you can put them.
I'll see you guys later.
That's awesome.
We're all comedians in our family. So, yeah.
See,
Put this on the
see,
floor.
Squamish people have a sense of humor too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I know, 100%.
Yeah.
I was laughing. Your dad always thought I didn't have much of a sense of humor. I said, I'm married. I stayed with you.
Oh.
He's a huge teaser. Oh, terrible jokes. They're what we call bad dad jokes.
Yeah. Definitely bad. Go siam siya at squile on hutton squalowins. Kaltstanat Quishoman and Aslan Hokameo. I said, good day. And my heart is happy to be here. And my name is, my ancestral name is Kaltstanat. And I live in the village of Aslan, which is located in our unceded occupied territory of the Squamish Nation in North Vancouver. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for coming on the Our Storytellers podcast. I mean, kind of the structure of the podcast is we just kind of roll through your life and any type of stories that kind of come up. Just let them fly. But yeah, no. Can you tell us a little bit about how you grew up?
Yeah, I grew up in the village of Aslan and was born on March 7th, 1954. I attended St. Paul's Indian Day School, which is located in our territory as well as actually maybe 2 blocks away from our home. And that the school was paid for by the government, and the staff there, which were Roman Catholic nuns, they were also paid by the government of Canada as well. And it was pretty strict, like back then, teachers were allowed to hit children if they misbehaved. Well, misbehave according to their standards, I mean, you could have a little giggle, and then you'll, next thing you know, and you're getting strapped on the head for laughing in class, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, so there was like a lot of bad things happened in that school. So, but, and there was, friendships, like in the community, a lot of those, a lot of the ones I attended school with, some of them are still alive yet, but we're still friends yet, because we all grew up in our own community and that. And so I attended there from 1961 to 1967. And after that, I went on to St. Thomas Aquinas.
Mm-hmm.
And before, like, we were all, the teachers were preparing us to go to St. Thomas Aquinas because, we'd be going to school with non-natives as well. And they call it integration. That's what they call it. Which a big word for us back then, in grade 7. Like, oh, we're going to be integration.
Wow.
I was really scared, because I'm going to go to school with white kids. There was white kids and there was Indians, and there wasn't any Asians or Persians, or not like today anyways, a big diversity of people. It was only the 2 races that went there. And I would say that the population in St. Thomas Aquinas at that time was 100 students.
Wow. Small.
Maybe 25 or 30 students per class, and it ran from grade 8 to grade 10. So we all knew each other and that. And then, well, the white kids, they weren't so bad after all, I still maintain a friendship with at least one of them. because in school everybody just scatters off in their own journeys, and
Yeah.
never see them again. But they were just like us. We laughed at the same jokes and played sports. Well, I didn't play sports, but
Mm-hmm.
um, but we attended basketball games and stuff like things like that. And after grade 10, I went on to Carson Graham for 1971, 72, for grade 11 and 12. And the population there was 1,100 kids. So I come from a school with 100,
Wow.
going into a school with 1,100 kids. And
That must have been a
that was
culture
scary.
shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at Carson Graham, the Native population there was pretty high because I think I never thought about it then, but I think about it now is probably because a lot of the residential schools were closing down throughout the province.
Right.
And so I don't know if it's part of a 60s scoop or not, but there was a lot of Native kids that went to that school that were from Seixal, Sliam, and Bella Bella, Kitasoo, and I don't know if any come over from Vancouver Island. I think it was
So
just up the coast there.
Hey, my relatives, super quick pause in this episode of Our Storytellers just to let you know that this podcast is brought to you by our partners at the Indigenous Screen Office. The Indigenous Screen Office supports Indigenous narrative sovereignty through storytelling on screen. They provide grants to small podcasts like us to support our growth and to support the guests that we can have come on. Big thanks to them. Please check them out on Instagram. Please check out their website. You never know, there might be an opportunity for you on there, especially if you're creating content. Get out there and check them out. Thank you so much to our partners at the Indigenous Screen Office. Back to the podcast.
And so I got to meet all of them, and the principal, the year before, the principal was Mr. Inkster, and Mr. Inkster, he must have talked with the Native students that year, and they formed a committee called the Indian Senate, where they were allowed to gather, and they're allowed to gather and talk about their culture. But not only that, but they got invited out to other public schools in the Lower Mainland to share, our culture and that. And so when I got there, the Indian Senate continued, so I became part of that, and that was when was that now? 1970, maybe 1971.
So just after the potlatch law was kind
Yeah.
of changed and shifted.
Yeah, and then, like it was, you might say that it was like, back in the hippie days, all the guys had long hair and the girls all, they had headbands or flowers around their hair and that, so it was totally different era,
Yeah.
and, it was peace, love, and all that. So it was a really different era, not like today. And we did get invited out to schools in the Lower Mainland and Burnaby to go out there and talk to them about the Indian Senate, about our culture and that. And
What would you share with them?
well, I think we brought some of our artists came along and they shared their artwork
Yeah.
and that. And I don't think some of us really didn't. Well, we never talked about residential schools,
Right.
and but we talked about potlatches and that, and we talked about powwows and regalia and things like that, and but they were really interested. Like we were never disrespected in any school that we went into, and I think a lot of it had to do with that era that we were in. Like 'cause, peace sign and all that. So
Mhm.
it was more open and acceptance in that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of fun, actually, and they even Carson Graham would set aside one day, and they call it Aboriginal Day or something. And so we'd bring in entertainment, native entertainment and that, and the salmon barbecue,
Yeah.
on the sticks. My dad did. My dad would always get invited out to many places to do salmon barbecue, and that was a big thing back then. So we
Yeah.
did salmon barbecue there. We had a room set up for crafts if any of the students wanted to learn how to make do beadwork
Mhm.
and that. And then another room was set up where one of the guys named Barry, he was a carver, so he was teaching carving. So
Oh yeah.
each of whoever came in would get a little piece of wood like that, and he would show them how to carve it. And
How to
so
use
it
all
was
the
just a day to
tools.
share our culture and then come together, and then we'd bring in entertainment and that. But sadly, that only lasted until I graduated. I was there for 2 years,
Yeah.
and it never happened again after that, you know?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe the students lost interest and,
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
anyways, it was a lot of fun when I was there. Yeah.
Did you
Uh,
like school?
I was real dumb. I mean, I wasn't like, but it's so weird. But well, I would say that back in at the day school, I was really smart, and I was getting good grades, in math, English, and all that. And I think a lot of it had to do with literacy because I loved reading, and my dad was a janitor there. But all of us kids, we had to go up and help him clean classrooms and stuff like that. And I would get my chores done, and then I would just start reading until everybody else was finished. And
Right.
I swear to God, I read every single book in that school.
Wow.
And, and I don't know what happened when I got to high school. I never read again. It was just having too much fun, being social. So, anyways, I thought, oh my gosh. I mean, I was lucky. I was lucky to pass math in the provincial exams. You needed 51% to pass to get your degree, and
Oh,
I got 51%.
nice.
C's and
So,
D's get degrees, though.
Yes, they do.
yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I
I
guess
did
so.
try I did try college, and oh my gosh, I I didn't even do very good in college,
Yeah.
And I took psychology 101. I had no clue what the heck they were talking about,
Oh,
going like,
no.
and then my friends would tell me, Iris, it's just common sense,
Nah.
And so I would sit in the class trying to, come on, common sense.
Kick it.
Where's my common sense? So finally, I couldn't take it anymore, and I went up to the professor. He had like long frizzy hair and these round John Lennon glasses, and I said, "Can I talk to you?" And, sure. And I said, "I want to withdraw from your class because I have no clue what you guys are talking about in here." I says, I don't get it. And
Yeah.
I said, my friends tell me that your class is just common sense, but I said, I don't even think I have that. And then he fell on the floor and he was killing himself laughing, and
Yeah.
got up and he was laughing so hard, I guess he was crying, And he says, no students ever told me that.
Oh, dear.
And so he said, no, don't withdraw from my class. He said, just keep coming, I'll mark you for attendance.
Pass for
He gave me a
attendance.
B or something.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, and then
For being funny.
I
For being
guess,
straight up honest with him.
yeah, I was serious though.
He's rolling on the floor laughing.
And so then history, I took history 100 or something, and So the professor, he's going down the list of all the students, and he goes, Iris Nahaney. And he's going like that. And then he says, don't tell me you're one of those Hawaiian Indians. I said, okay, I won't tell you. I won't say anything. I didn't understand his class either, but he gave me a good mark.
What were you going to college for?
Well, they were all supposed to be university prep courses because actually I wanted to be a social worker.
Okay.
I had my mindset on being a social worker, and they did have a social worker's aid course, but you had to be 21 in order to take that course.
Right.
So anyways, I was still like 18 or something like that.
Oh.
And then I took sociology. Yeah, I took sociology. And then, so the teacher again is reading off all the names and Iris Nahaney. So, and they can come at the end of class. He calls me over, so I went up to see him. And do you know Teresa Nahaney? And I said, yeah, that's my sister. And she says, well, she gave me a summer job throughout my university. She would hire me as a summer student every summer until I graduated from university and that. So don't worry about this class. So then he gives me a B, right? So I didn't learn a damn thing in his class either. So college just wasn't for me.
You got like lucky though. Seems
Yeah.
like.
I always wondered what prompted you out of college, like, because I then I realized, I mean, you had kids, like lots of kids too, right? So
Yeah, but it's just that scared me, like going to all these classes and not even knowing what they're talking about.
yeah,
I had no clue. Nobody talked like that at home, so subjects never came up.
yeah, that makes so much sense, kind of understanding that now, where that how that was, right?
Yeah.
Do you
'Cause-
finish college?
No, I never went back.
Yeah, you did the one term, and
Yeah.
then
That was enough.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that was enough. And no, I didn't like it at all. And so I just everything I learned, like all my knowledge that I've ever learned is from working. Like I worked for my first job. Well, first of all, I met my husband, and I was on welfare at the time, getting $235 a month, and I had 2 children. So for the 3 of us, I was getting $235 a month.
Wow.
So my husband made me go to school. So I went. I did go back to school. I went to Capilano College. And that's what they called it at the time. Now it's a university.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And I took the business office training. So totally away from all that other stuff. And so my husband would help me with my with my math because I was still really bad in math yet. So he would help me with my math homework. And I think I probably still typing on the typewriters, carriage swing, typing on the typewriter, carriage swing. Then I learned how to use the calculator and calculators, right?
Yes.
And so anyways,
we still use them.
Yeah. I'm from the generation before we had smartphones when we were kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we did. So I learned how to use the calculator, because you had to use it without looking, so they give you numbers and you're going like that. And I actually got pretty good at it,
Yeah.
And so I graduated from there, and my husband, you got to go get a job now. So I went out and I signed up with a personnel company called Christina Personnel, and they landed me an interview with a shipping company. So I went to Oh yeah, I had to go out and buy some office clothes and dresses.
Yep.
So anyways, I go out and I get ready for my interview and I go in and it's kind of like you're in a bubble. Like the office is all around, but this main area was a bubble where you could see all the staff walking around or doing whatever, you know.
Okay.
So I got interviewed by about 5 people. 5 different people came in one at a time to interview me, right?
Wow.
And the last guy that came, his name was Joe. And he says, "Oh, well, we have time. We have one more person coming in. It's a janitor." I'm like, "The janitor?" And then he just bust out laughing, right? Like he was teasing me. So anyways, I ended up getting the job. And all I know is that year was that movie that came out, 9 to 5. So I thought they didn't even tell me what time to come in. So I got there at 8:30 thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to show up half hour early, So I'm in the coffee break from it. The woman that said, she is my supervisor, she says, you're supposed to be working right now. I was like, oh, really? And she says, yeah, didn't they tell you what time to start?
No.
I said, no. I said, I thought 9 to 5.
Oh dear.
And she says, so it's 8:30 to 4:30.
Oh dear.
So I was actually late because I was sitting in there for almost till 9 o'clock.
Nice.
Yeah, I worked there for about a year.
Wow.
Westward Shipping. And then Auntie April phones me one day and she said there was an opening at Indian Affairs and told me to apply for it. So
I forgot she worked there. But
oh yeah.
yeah, she was there a long time.
Yeah.
Right?
So I went to apply for that job.
Yeah.
And I applied for that job and then I applied to another shipping company.
Mm-hmm.
And the other shipping company really wanted me because I was one of the first ones in our community to get trained on computers. So, the DOS system. I don't know if you ever heard of that before. Right? Just operating system.
Yeah.
Where you have to type out this long equation in order for the program to appear like Word or Excel or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you got one letter missed
I
one
had to
letter, you had to start
start
all over again.
Yes.
So, anyways, so Western Shipping had trained me on computers, sent me off to a computer course because they were still using typewriters. I mean, they had a
Right.
longer carriage. The carriage was about this long because they had to put a ship manifest on there, and you're
Oh wow.
going in a 20-foot container said to contain, and then you name the items that are in that container. And that. So, anyways, I got trained on computers, and I remember going home to Sībus, and there was another girl on there, and she worked in an office downtown. She was from the community, and she told me that she just finished her computer training. I mean, the band office wasn't even using computers yet.
Right.
So that's why I say we were the first ones to learn how to use a computer. Yeah, so. But yeah, I went to work for Indian Affairs. I worked there from 1980 until 1991.
11 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I left on my own. I got bored there. So
Yeah.
because they were all the bands in BC were taking over their own programs, and so basically what we were doing is they would send in their financial reports on how much money they spent on each program. We just go through it and, check the amounts and stuff and then send it to our finance department to generate them a check to send back. So,
Right.
and it was getting really boring because you're left with nothing to do,
Yeah.
And so sometimes I spend all day on the computer, playing solitaire. And so finally, I went to the director and I told him that. I said, lay me off. I said, I'm so bored here that I don't like sitting at my desk playing solitaire all day because there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
And I said, all of Indian Affairs is going to downsize. I says, these district offices are going to be gone. And, I might as well go now, And that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I said, yes, it is. Because we don't have nothing to do. Why would they want to keep us open, And so he did. He laid me off as I requested so I can get my UIC, right?
Yep.
So he laid me off. Must have been in June. And then by September, all of the district offices were closing down. It only happened a few months later.
You called it.
I told you.
Nice.
Yeah. So I just, made a lot of friendships there, Auntie April and I, we spent every day together. We'd have our coffee breaks together, our lunch together and that. And, it was a pretty good workplace, And I never had any problems there anyways, So,
What was Auntie April like?
she was a lady. I would describe her as a lady.
She was very kind.
She was kind. She was professional. She's real strict as well, with her children. And
they had the 2 boys.
she had she invited Axel to her son's birthday party because they're the same age, and she said the party is from 12 until 1, no earlier, no later.
Yeah.
I couldn't drop him off before 12. I couldn't pick him up after 1. It was for 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yeah. So, and then, anyways, I remember she used to do the Indian status cards.
Yeah.
And she did my card one time, and I got so happy. I didn't even really read it, and I was just happy to get my status card. And I went home and I showed my husband, and he really looks at it, and his, you're 1'1"?
1'1".
Oh my God. So the next day I go back to the office and went up to April and I said, I think you got my height wrong. And she looks at it and she was so upset because that was her work, and she was kind of like perfectionist in her job until she saw that. I mean, I even laughed, but she was really upset. She didn't laugh with me. She just grabbed the card out of my hand.
1'1". Didn't have a sense of humor like that.
Yeah, she has a sense of humor, but at work it was all professional.
But not
All
work,
business.
not when it was work.
Yeah, she was just totally professional. And, so to make a mistake like that on an Indian status card was just
It was too hard for her.
wasn't heard of,
Yeah.
So,
How did you meet your husband?
in a bowling alley.
It's better than where I met mine.
In jail. You met yours in jail.
We worked in the same jail.
Oh,
We
yeah.
didn't
Okay,
live
all
in
right.
the same
Yeah. She is. Yeah, he
That's
Squamish
terrible.
Nation had a league. It was called the Jazz. I think it was Jasmine Bowling Alley. It was up on 3rd Street. And so not far, but I think Squamish Nation had about maybe five teams there. And so every Friday night, I don't bowl either. I mean, my friends at the time, they dragged me into it, and it was 5 pin, I guess. The smaller
The
one.
smaller ones.
Yeah. It's okay. I thought, oh, that's boring. Do it a Friday night,
To the bowling alley.
Yeah. So anyway, we had bowling, and then I guess in January, just before we're wrapping up, the somebody quit on the team beside us, and that's when my husband joined that team, and he didn't know how to bowl either.
He's probably wondering why he was there too.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's where I met him, and that's where we've been together ever since. So, like 45 years. So,
Dang.
Yep.
yeah.
Dang.
And
Yep.
how many boys?
Well, 4 with him.
Yeah.
Because Ben and Axel already had them already. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dang. How do you make it work for 45 years?
Well, I guess he worked night shift and I worked day shift.
That's
That's what I'm thinking, anyways.
That's funny. Night shift, day shift.
Yeah, he's a longshoreman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I'm office administrator. So, but yeah, and he also sold arts and crafts as well. And I think you may have started us on that. I
Yeah,
think.
well, because he had the trailer and stuff, and
No, we started at the condos. Then we got the
then
trailer
oh right,
because
because
we
you
had
were
all those
living in the
carvings up
condos.
on. We had all the carvings up on the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, every week, carvers are coming by, knocking on the door, selling
Looking
us
for money.
carvings.
Right, and they just had so many.
Yeah, and I
carvers
think
would come to bring to sell their art.
Yeah,
to sell,
yeah.
to
Door to
sell it to
door.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I don't know door to door, but only the people that they knew would buy off of them.
Okay.
They knew who had money in the
Yeah.
community, so they would actually hedge their bets a bit to go and see people who they knew
Wow.
would have a few bucks,
Yeah.
right? It was like when I remember working at band offices, a couple of them, and people would come into those too to look for.
Yeah,
for
because I
money
think
too,
you're the
right?
one that got her started on that.
Yeah,
Didn't you
maybe.
send somebody to buy? Maybe you sent somebody to buy some artwork.
I might
off
have
of-
been because I had friends that always wanted to buy things, and yeah, you guys had
So-
lots.
So she's one that actually got us started. So.
And eventually, you guys had the trailer.
Yeah, we had the trailer
But-
and called it Native Arts and Crafts. Original. But
Hey, it
like
worked.
we had a guest book there, and people were signing where they're from, and they're from all over the world. That how they found us, we don't know, but anyways, they showed up, and so we sold arts and crafts, and I think that's what I did after I left Indian Affairs. Was I started selling the arts and crafts, and that. So, we did a lot of craft fairs, and we did the peony as well. And
And are you buying art off of other people and then reselling it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had like your people that you knew that you would go and buy some stuff off.
yeah, they just started coming to us though.
Yeah.
Oh, but you want this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of
Yeah.
the community people are, they're.
You'd be like, there's a tip on this carving. You gotta take some extra money off.
No, I think they probably just paid everybody pretty much what they usually asked for most
Pretty
of the time.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
most people that sell that way are always fairly humble about their work, right?
Yeah. Like we bought a lot of it from community members because we wanted to sell the crafts that were from
Yeah.
our community and that.
Yeah.
And then until, one night our store got broken into,
Oh,
and they took everything. They just cleaned us out.
weird.
They took everything, And the local artists who we bought off, they knew who broke into our store, and they wouldn't tell us. So I said, okay, you know what? Don't ever come back here again. We stopped buying from you.
Yep.
You don't want to tell us? I mean, we were their bread money.
That's terrible. Eh?
How do you
Jeez.
know How do you know that they knew?
Because I asked them.
Oh, and they were like, I know.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
wouldn't give a name.
Yeah, they
Oh.
wouldn't
Yeah.
release it.
Oh.
Yeah, so I said, well, if you're more loyal to the thief, then, don't ever come back here again. So we never ever bought off them again. And then I remember this one lady, she brought in a doll with some kind of knitted outfit on and some moccasins. And they didn't even look nice. Like, we didn't even want them,
Yeah.
So she wanted to leave them there on consignment, like if somebody
Would buy it.
them.
Yeah.
Anyways, oh man, she came after us because this was after the theft, Can't believe they even stole her stuff.
They stole her old doll. Oh no.
And so, anyways, I was with my husband at the time in the store when she came in, and and she noticed the store was almost empty, and we told her that we had a break in, and then everything got stolen, and
Yeah.
and so she wanted Rick to pay her money for the items that were stolen that she left there on consignment,
Mhm.
Hey, she wanted like $1,000,
Whoa.
Rick swore at her. He wasn't going to pay her that. And so he says, but I'll give you this. And he wrote out a check for $100, which is probably what it was worth in the first place.
Yeah.
If even,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take that. You owe me money. Blah, blah, blah,
No.
And so he took the check back and he ripped it up into a whole bunch of little pieces,
Oh dear.
And she was horrible. But not only, like I told you, I would go out to all these fairs and sell, right? It wasn't only her horrible, it was her children, I think she sent her son over to our table and he said that my mom calls you a thief because you stole from her, blah, 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 right? I'm right, like you're supposed to be professional at all times when you're out there in the circuit,
Oh.
And so I just ignored him and I, just kept doing what I was doing, I guess. And then, but, I started telling other artists, what really happened and that, eventually got back to her.
Yeah. And she eventually
And they
showed
all
up.
agreed that, she was just a troublemaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
Wow.
yeah, it was crazy. And then I started working at the Chief Joe Mathias Center. And one of my jobs there was the craft fair, Christmas craft fair, where you sell the tables and the people the vendors come in and they buy a table, rent it for the weekend. Anyways, one of our elders on the community came in. Iris, there's this elder outside that, wants a table. She can't afford it though, but, I told her I would come in and ask. And I said, oh, who is it? Oh, she said her name's Alice. I said, Alice from Lillooet? And she goes, yeah. I says, no, hell no. I said, she's not going to get a table here, especially a free table. She was the one that, oh, no. And I told this lady, what she did to me and that, I didn't know that.
That's
I never
wild.
gave it. So, what goes around comes around,
Yes.
treat somebody badly, then, just, but
Especially
I
in
think,
our
at least
communities.
selling all those native arts and crafts helped us raise our kids, buy their clothes, pay their hockey fees, and we did really well, actually,
It was a good little business for a while for you guys, and it
Yeah.
ran its course. Then.
Yeah, it
right?
ran its course. So. But,
What?
Cool.
What was like taking it back now, I guess? Like what was the family like growing up?
My family,
Yeah.
my siblings and that.
Yeah.
Well, we lived at 441 West 3rd Street. The house that we were in was considered a wartime house. So when the war was over, those houses were used to house soldiers' families when they went off to war.
Mm.
And so when the war was over, then the houses were given to our community and that. And growing up in that house, we're in North Vancouver, right? And so we have a little farm. I mean, we got a horse, we got pigs, we got chickens and ducks and let's see, geese, maybe geese.
Muscovy ducks.
Yeah.
I remember he had those mean ducks.
Nobody else had animals, just we did. And that, you know?
Yeah.
And amazing. Oh, your horse got away.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
What was your dad like?
he didn't like me much, you know. And I don't know why. I don't know what I ever done. I was a kid, man. You know,
Yeah.
but it seemed like if anything ever went wrong in the house, it was always my fault, you know. Iris! I mean, he's just like the kid on Home Alone, you know. Run! And I remember one day he was angry at me about something, and he told my older brother Lorne, "You go out and get a stick so he could beat me with it," you know. So
Oh,
Lorne
no.
went outside and he comes back and he's got a little twig about his and Dad got really angry with him. And then I started running away and he told him to catch me. And so we had our living room and then we had a little hallway, and then they had the kitchen, then you come back into the living room. So I was kind of like running around in circles. And Lorne couldn't catch me.
Oh no.
And then finally, you know, the back door opened. I ran out there and ran down the back of our yard. We got about 2 acres of land back behind our house.
Yes.
But I think he just gave up on chasing me. He probably just went back to do what Lorne does, you know. And so, anyways, and then so he was janitor at St. Paul's Indian Day School, and my mom was janitor at the Capilano Little Ones, the nursery school. And I guess we were a hardworking family. Like every summer, we had to go pick strawberries and raspberries,
Mm-hmm.
and we were paid $1 flat. I mean, we never saw the money because it had to go back into the family pool, and they used that to buy groceries and that. And then my mom would take home strawberries and she would make strawberry jam, or she would freeze it. And the same with the raspberries. Like where we picked the strawberries was in Lyndon, Washington. And so he would drive us down there and just drop us off, mom and 9 of us kids. Yeah, the 9 of us kids all got dropped off down there.
Oh yeah.
But the cabin that they put us in was close to the owner's house. And I mean, there was Mexican people that worked there too, but they all had these cabins way in the back. So we had plumbing, electricity, and
Ah.
you know. And
What was your mom like?
she was nice, hardworking, real strict. Well, actually, I thought she was cranky all the time, but she was Scorpion, eh? Scorpio.
Oh,
Yeah, she was
When was her birthday?
November 17th, I think. Yeah. But she was a hard worker. You know, she worked at White Spot in Park Royal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then remember she told me that she used to eat her lunch in the bathroom because I don't know why, she was a really shy person too. And I guess one day the manager saw her heading to the bathroom with her lunch and he told her to stop, and he says, "You're not eating your lunch in there anymore." And then he brought her to a booth and he said, "You eat your lunch here from now on."
Wow.
And he was good to her. But other than that, she worked at the Great Northern Cannery, which is located in West Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, all my sisters worked there, and I think Jason and Lorne of my brothers worked there. Yeah, they're making some pretty good coin there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Is that where Granny worked?
Yeah, she worked
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she worked
Yeah.
there.
Is
She
that
worked
where
there.
she met?
She worked when it was when she went to work in where Terminal is, and she met Dad in the cafeterias down there.
Oh, I thought she met him at Dominion.
Dominion?
Yeah.
Was he working over on this side?
Yeah, I think he was a butcher there.
Yeah. That's why I think we
Dang.
can cross-reference podcasts if we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
I
it's
call
funny
it
'cause-
Dominion.
Dominion? Yeah, because I think he came across Canada working for them.
He did, yeah.
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 So, yeah, she met him there. And that, so I must have been 8 years old when they got married.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was kind of like the first wedding in the family. That, so.
First wedding in the family.
Mm-hmm.
So you're the youngest.
Yeah.
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 Well, the youngest girl. And then
The
I have a
youngest
younger
girl.
brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maurice is the baby of the
Oh,
family.
baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Baby of the family, I guess.
Yeah.
In his 70s now.
Yeah, when I filled out that form for the Indian Days scholarship, you know, so that, you know, you list all the abuses that happened to you or you witnessed whatever, and then because it was a class action suit, so there was money that was paid out. But when I started filling that out, I didn't even know my older siblings were in residential school,
Wow.
you know. And my sister Rose told me, she says, "Well, don't you remember when they came home, the house got kind of crowded?" And I said, "Rose, I was 3, so no, I don't remember."
Mm.
Yeah, you were so little, right?
Yeah, but I was never really close to them, and I knew they were my brothers and sisters, and they didn't like me either. And nobody liked me in my house. Sometimes I wondered why I was there.
Aw.
They must have found me somewhere, you know.
They must have found me. Oh dear.
Yeah. So, yeah, because I wasn't really close to Jason and Lorne. That and my sisters, I was always getting in their way. Iris, go on, Iris, go downstairs, Iris, you know. Boo. So
The little sister. Yeah.
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 So then me and Morris, well, we used to fight all the time, and yeah, he used to dig up these holes around the backyard and cover them over, and Ira, help me, you know. So I go running, and then I fall into the trap, you know. It was rotten kid.
Jeez.
Then
Well, that
start
was
fighting
mean.
him, and then Rainey would try and break us up, you know. We're going like that, and Rainey's trying to hold us apart. So I guess Rainey was destined to be a peacekeeper.
He was a peacekeeper. Oh yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. And we got our first TV back in the 60s, probably black and white, where you have a antenna on top of the house.
Yeah.
So my parents used to send me up to the roof. So I'd have to go upstairs, go in my sister's room, climb out the window,
And up on the
and
roof.
then end up on the roof. And then I'd have to turn it so that good reception down below. And so
You had the most youngest jobs out of anybody.
Yeah,
I feel like.
you got all
You had
those.
the most youngest girl jobs ever.
Yeah. So I'd be out
Move
there,
the antenna.
be out there on the roof, you know, with the hands on the antenna. And then I look across, you know, the reserves and look at the other houses. Then, hey, oh, there's my friend. Hey, you know,
You're all out there moving antennas.
back, Jan, back on the antenna. It's because the reception went when I let go. So I had to put my hand back on there again.
You're trying to.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And so then when my older sister Teresa, she got a job in Ottawa, so she bought her parents a color TV. And then, I mean, we did have this, we did have this wheel with red, yellow, and blue that would turn, so that would make the TV color.
That's awesome.
Well, it must have been, yeah, because 1964, we still had a black and white TV because the Beatles came on, it was black and white,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
the year I was born.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you were 10, I guess, when Mom was born.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
Yeah, that's her first babysitter.
you were her first babysitter?
Yeah.
Yep.
What was she like as a baby?
Wow, she was so cute.
Really?
Her name was Bonnie.
Yes.
Yeah, I
It's the
remember
name
they
that
had this
stuck.
big carriage of a buggy, you know,
Oh yeah, the
big,
car beds that they.
yeah, the big cradle thing.
Yeah.
And so I used to take her for walks to the reserve, you know, like her mom would say, bring her for a walk, you know, so I'd bring her for a walk, you know, through the reserve, and you know, dogs chasing us and barking at us and stuff like that. Pretty damn fast one, you know.
Run faster.
Yeah. That's where I learned how to ride a bike, was on the reserve too. And my sister taught me, and I remember pedal faster. And then of course the dogs start chasing you, and then you start pedaling really fast. How do you stop? You know, and I didn't know how to stop, so I had to fall down. They didn't tell me about the brakes.
He didn't know what the brakes were for yet.
Yeah, so I learned pretty fast because, you know, I didn't want the dogs catching up.
Nice.
Oh, and we had these things ceremony, like a potlatch every year. Not like a real potlatch from northern BC or anything, but
Yeah.
a potlatch where my parents would do the barbecued salmon, and then they'd bring in all these rides like the Ferris wheel and, you know, carnival rides, I guess. You
They do
know?
that down by St. Paul's and
Yeah,
set everything up,
where the
right?
marina is. Yeah,
That's right, because it went out farther, I
yeah.
think, right?
And then all these war canoes would come in from other nations like Chehalis and Chilliwack and Lummi and Vancouver Island, and they would have their canoe races there. So it was just a lot of fun, I guess. I don't know, as a kid, it was a lot of fun, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and had all kinds of entertainment there, you know, powwow dancers. Oh yeah, we had the school that I was in. Oh, they had Irish dancing, right? So
Oh,
a lot of the
yeah.
students were took up jigging and Irish dancing and that. For the life of me, I couldn't do it. I couldn't coordinate my feet, you know, to do those jigging steps. And so, anyways, there was myself, there was my cousin Kenny, and this other girl named Esther, and my cousin Scotty. None of us got it. So, while the other girls were getting ready to go on stage, they would
Yeah.
send us out knowing full well we didn't know how to do the
Oh
moves.
no.
So, you know, there I am skipping to the front, and they're skipping to the back or going sideways. You know, we kind of became the comedy act, but we didn't know we were the comedy act.
Oh
And
man.
because people would be laughing at us because
Oh my
Oh
god.
no.
we're making all these mistakes.
Oh, jeez.
Then we, you know, look at each other and get mad on stage. You're supposed to come up here, you know?
Instead of there making gestures.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was like, oh
Doesn't Keith have a comedy show now?
yeah.
That's the same Keith, right? You're talking about? No.
Oh yeah. No, it was like Kenny Nahaney. I'm not sure if you know him, and
Yep.
Scotty Nahaney.
Scotty. I
Which-
remember Scotty.
Yeah, and or Jimmy Johnson, who became later Jamie Johnson. You know, because he had an operation to become a woman.
Transitioned.
Transition.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and yeah. None of us could get it. And Esther, she was really like tall, you know.
Oh, so, yeah.
Did your parents talk about any family stories or anything like that that you can remember?
Mhm. My parents, they wouldn't allow us to get in tune with our culture.
Yeah.
They would teach us the language. Although my mom was a basket maker and she kept that tradition of making baskets, Indian baskets and that. But we weren't allowed to learn the language as well. And because they thought if we did those things, then we'd be taken away and
Yeah.
that, which is kind of weird because they already had kids taken away. Maybe that's why they want the kid, didn't want us taken away, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so home life was just yeah. What we did was the table that's at your mom's house,
Yes.
the round table. Well, that's the table that we always used when we were kids, and that's
Really?
yeah,
I had no idea.
That big oak table. Yeah.
yeah.
Really?
So all 9 of us would sit around that table, with mom and dad, and have our dinner at that table and that, right?
Yeah.
And our dad would make us kind of like do a speech. And so he would, we had to go around the table and everybody had to tell a story of what happened that day or something like that. And he would start it off with, we had to start off with honored guests, family, or whatever. Like it had to have a proper beginning to it,
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. And every one of us had to say something on what happened, what happened at school or on the way home or whatever. But everybody had to say something.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how I think that's how we all end up, public speaking and talking.
He wanted you
you
to
know?
be comfortable with
I
speaking
guess so.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's really interesting.
yeah.
Mm.
And then I remember my
We should do that to Tyler,
Hmm?
the youngest brother. Give
Oh,
him
yeah.
give him to speak.
Oh.
Tyler's very shy and
Aw.
quiet.
Wow.
Well, I think that comes from the teasing he got from the other boys.
That's my bad. Sorry about that, Tyler. I'm sure he'll watch this.
Wow. Wow.
It's because I love him so much, though.
Yeah.
He's like a
That's
big,
awesome.
sweet teddy bear, that boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my boys hate each other. They never got over
They
it.
go through phases, right? Because
It's
there's kind
been
of
a pretty long
love-hate
phase.
sometimes. Yeah, sometimes.
Would you like to be a guest on our Storytellers? Because all you have to do to connect with us is just email info@ourstorytellers.ca and we will get back to you as soon as possible. That sounds like a voicemail, which I think is hilarious. But if you email us, we'll give you a call and we'll listen to your story and we'll probably film it. So please reach out to us if you're interested in being a guest, because we love to share stories from all walks of life, from all different experiences. We think that everybody's story is valuable and that you can learn from anybody's story. So please email us and we'll schedule a call with you as soon as we can. That also sounds like a voicemail, but back to the podcast.
Some phases last a really long time, a lifetime.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thanks, intergenerational trauma.
for sure. Like, jeez.
And all the lovely skills that came home for people from residential school and 60 scoop and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I did learn basketry from my mother though, because I think I was the last girl to be at home, and she did teach me how to make them. And it's hard. It was really hard, and she was really strict, and no, you don't do it that way. You do it this way. And she was really strict about it and that. So I think I made maybe a tray and a smaller basket, and I don't know where they are. I probably gave them away or something.
You never kept it up. Yeah.
No, I think I tried later on, but it's something that you gotta like when you're doing a craft. Then it's something that you have to be. It has to be a part of you, and that. And
Yeah,
it
you
wasn't.
have to have a passion for it,
Yeah.
and yeah, you're
When would she
right.
make them? Like in the wintertime?
Oh, she make them all year round.
All year round?
Yeah, she sold a lot of them to community members. The people she worked with the Squamish Nation and the band office, and they bought a lot of hers. And then there was a lady that would come down from the British properties, and she would always buy her baskets off her as well. Use the money for bingo.
Travel and other things. I mean, she won a lot of money
Yeah,
at
she did
bingo,
win a
though,
lot of
right?
money, so
You
she
know,
traveled with all her money and
yeah,
that.
Dad.
She made a lot of money off the baskets.
Oh no, off
The
winning
bingo.
bingo.
Well, she used her basket money to go to bingo.
To go to
and
bingo.
To
then-
win
and then
bingo,
To win
to
bingo.
go
To
travel.
travel. Well, she told my dad she wanted to go see the Pope one year. And my dad said, if you can pay for it, we'll go. So she went to bingo and won the money in 2 different, like, huge bingos. She won, like, I don't know, $6,000 or something. And she paid for him and herself and Mom, and they took her to Rome.
Really?
Yes, they did. She wanted to go to
See
Rome
the
to
Pope.
see the Pope. That was like a bucket list for her.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't too long after that, I think she passed away, but because see, I remember her, for me, Granny, I was a little girl. And I think I was like 8 or 9 when she passed away. I wasn't like really, really old.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember her baskets. I remember her always having things soaking in water
Yeah.
beside her chair.
Yeah.
And she kind of had a little perpetual station there, and she'd have a cigarette at night. She'd be sitting there watching her window, because where her chair was, she could look out and see the traffic on the street and watch people coming down the sidewalk or what was going on.
Yeah, when she was in Rome, her wallet was lifted out of her bag, so she lost her wallet over there.
Oh no.
And so, anyways, about a year later, my cousin Dolly, who lives in the Slave Tooth Nation, she phoned her and said, "Eva, there's some mail here for you from the embassy in Rome. The Canadian embassy."
Wow.
And it says Eva Nahaney, Indian Reserve Number 1, North Vancouver.
Wow.
That wasn't our address. Our address was 441 West 3rd Street, North Vancouver.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they put down Indian Reserve Number 1. So I drove her up there to Cousin Dolly's house. And then Dolly gave her the envelope. And so she opened up the envelope at Dolly's house, and her wallet was inside. And I guess it made its way to the Canadian embassy, and so the Canadian embassy mailed it back to her.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All her ID was in there, and
Wow.
she said she didn't have much cash in there anyway, so. But, just to get all her ID and her wallet back, she was so happy. And then, of course, Auntie Teresa wrote to the Canadian embassy to thank them for, to let them know that she received it and thank them for sending it back to her.
Wow.
So,
What did she like to talk about?
my mom?
Yeah.
God, I don't know if I could tell you that.
Might have to kill you.
Like I said, she was a hard worker, so she would get up. I'd have to have her to work by 7, pick her up at 3. She'd make dinner, and then I'd bring her to bingo at 6, and then pick her up at 10:30. There wasn't much conversation there. Yeah, you know what? I don't even know. But like she liked going out to what do you call those drive-in flea markets? Swap meet, right?
Oh, the swap meets.
Yeah, she liked going to swap meet every Sunday, and so I drive her out there. And I don't think we really had a deep down conversation or anything,
Yeah.
And so, but I remember I was living with my sister Rose, and my mom wanted to go to the Lummi canoe races, which is on the other side of the border,
Mhm.
right?
Right. Yes.
And so, anyways, she phones at 6 in the morning. Well, if you don't want to bring me, then forget about it. And then she hung up.
Oh no.
It's like 6 in the morning. And it just out in Coquitlam. I lived out in Coquitlam.
That's
I
right.
said,
At
"Oh my
schoolhouse.
God, Rose, got to go. We have to go bring mom to Lummi." And so, anyway, so I had Ben and Axel, and so we got them up, dressed them, and then we came over to the house and on 3rd Street. And so, go in the house and go, "Mom, it was like really quiet." So you go into her bedroom and, she got the blanket covered over her, and I said, "Do you still want to go?" "Yeah." And she gets up and she has her coat on and everything.
She's all dressed.
And she's all dressed and ready to go.
That kind of sounds like Granny, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That sounds like Granny.
They don't want to take me.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she has a fresh moo on. She's ready to rock and roll.
I know.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Exactly. She'd always
Yeah.
be ready to go.
Yeah. Then
Oh, that's
my mom
funny.
was a really good cook too. Like she made the best meals. Like she can make just a gourmet meal out of anything that she had in that fridge and that. She made the best bannock, and she pies. Pies were her specialty.
She used to sell them at the marina.
Yeah, and nobody could make a pie like her. I've tried, and just no way. I think because she had big hands, so she was able to really knead that dough to the perfect thing. And
Basket weaving probably gave her really
yeah,
strong
that's right.
hands,
Yeah, you're right.
She
Yeah,
had
she's got all the
deadly
muscles in her
strong.
hands, right?
Oh, weaving is just heavy work.
It is. Yeah,
Really?
it is
Harvesting
really
it,
hard.
yeah, weaving is heavy work because you're pulling on it. Even though the cedar's wet, it's still, it's a real precise, intensely,
Oh yeah,
intricate work with your fingers, and they have to be strong to pull it and
yeah,
separate it, do all those things.
yeah. Like there was a Dairy Queen on 4th and Lonsdale, and she said, "Take me up to the Dairy Queen." And I'm going, yeah, all right.
Excited?
So I drive her up to the Dairy Queen, and she gets out with a knife, and she goes over to the cherry tree and starts stripping it of its bark. She's looking for the bark, and I'm there. Oh my God, we're gonna get caught. She needed the cherry bark for her baskets because the cherry bark would put the design. She could make designs with the cherry bark
Yeah.
and that,
Like it was a different color than the other
Yeah, it's
one.
red.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was
Yeah.
quite red. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that bark is.
That is so funny.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was going to strip the tree.
You thought you were getting a blizzard.
You're
I thought,
looking for ice.
Banana split.
Yay! Oh.
Yeah.
From happy to sad all at the same time.
That is such a good story. That is such a good
Yeah.
story.
That is awesome.
Hey, my girl, can we go to Dairy Queen? Yeah.
Okay. Gets up there, starts stripping.
I know, it's so
And you're like, I'm going to go get a banana split.
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
So, yeah, she was
Holy.
a little crazy like that.
Were there any aunts and uncles around?
What?
Were there any aunts and uncles around?
Yeah. I don't think we're really close to them.
Yeah.
It would be my dad's brothers. And then I guess, I think what happened was with my Uncle Bill, his dog got in the yard, went after our chickens. So my dad shot the dog.
That sounds about right.
Have you heard that story before?
No, it's usually my dad that was doing something like that.
Oh my God.
Oh,
And
my
then, so
dad
they
was
never
terrible.
talked. They never talked for years and years.
After he shot the dog.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Poor uncle. And then my uncle Ed. Well, my uncle Ed. He worked all the time. You know, he worked for the Native Brotherhood and
He was
other Native
older, right?
organizations. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the older brother.
And we would go visit. Oh, I went with my dad to visit Uncle Ed a few times and that. No, whereas one time he told Uncle Ed I could sing.
How did that go?
I was so embarrassed, and I could see my cousin Dougie. He's standing behind Uncle Ed. He's going like that, right? And,
No.
and I was so embarrassed. I got up and I ran out of the
Oh dear.
And so, anyways, oh, my dad was so mad at me.
Gotta go. Just run.
It's like the guy that had the singing frog. La, 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 la. And then
frog
he brings it out and tells everybody this frog can sing, but the frog just kind of like ribbit, ribbit. Anyways,
I love that cartoon.
yeah, it is.
I'm crying without that one. Oh, that one's hilarious.
Oh,
that's
funny.
And then,
I can just imagine that just so clearly.
well, I was just a little kid, man. I telling my uncle I was a singer.
What were you thinking?
Yeah. So, but I loved my uncles dearly, and Uncle Ed, like I said, he was busy all the time, so I didn't really visit him, but I would visit my Uncle Bill all the time on my way to church. Because I'd have to walk past his house and go to church.
Yeah.
And then when I come back home, I would stop in and pay him a visit and stuff. And years later, my cousin drowned up in out near Seashell. Vern Haney.
Yes.
Yeah, he drowned, and so I went down to pay respects to Uncle and that, and his daughter Darlene was there, and Darlene and I used to go out every weekend. And so, anyways, I go in there pay my respects, and Darlene was in there. And hey, Iris, so are you going down the Alice on Friday? I'm going like that, And then Uncle looks at, what? What? No, not Iris. And then he started laughing. He said, you have a life. He says, I thought you just went to church all the time.
Because you walked past to go to
Then
church.
Darlene bust out laughing. She says, oh, she's a sinner. Darlene.
Jeez.
Yes. Yeah, but he was happy for me. I actually had a life. And
That you had a cool.
pray for my sins on Sunday. Yeah. And Uncle Ed, I didn't know him too well, but anyways, I remember this one day I was driving by his house, and he was working in the garden in front of his house. So I stopped my car and hi, Uncle. And he looks up. Oh, hi, wait there. So he comes out and he's got these two empty pails, and he says, drive me up the Squamish Highway. I want to go get some salmon berries.
Two empty pails.
Yeah. And okay, Uncle. But I was happy to do it because I never spent time with Uncle. This is my first time I've ever been alone with him, and let alone go on a little road trip just like that,
Wow.
It was really nice, and he showed me a spot, where there was all these salmon berries, and we're putting them in the pails, and then he comes running up to me. Get to the car! Get to the car! We gotta get out of here! I said, why? Just go. So we were practically running back to the car and put the berries in. It's because he saw a bear.
Oh, jeez. We gotta get out of there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You see all the dust flying as we're driving out of there. Yeah, that was the one and only time that I spent with Uncle. But I always remember it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what was it? So you spent more time with Uncle Bill.
Yeah.
So what was Uncle Bill like?
Oh, he was so funny. He was really funny. He just, I think he probably had diabetes or something, and he had gout in his leg, so he didn't leave his house, And he would tell me that he traveled all over the world on his TV. Every place he wanted to see was on his TV.
Cool.
So he was just happy just being there on his TV,
Nice.
And everybody loved him. And he had this coat hanger hanging from the ceiling. And he had all these watches and necklaces and objects hanging from them. So he said that when people would visit him, and they would just add to his collection, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Right? But I guess that's how much they loved him. Yeah. So
Cool.
and but he was a really nice guy. In that we had Darlene, who passed away. I don't know how many years ago now, but she was funny. Yeah, she was a lot of fun to hang out with. And then her brothers, probably two of them are still alive now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank must be in his 90s, and same with Willie. He must be in his late 80s now.
Yeah, Willie, boxing, right?
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
boxers.
Yeah, Willie should be about, I think he's about 82 or 83.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he lives with Frank now.
Yeah, they don't get out much.
No,
Yeah.
but Frank comes to the Elder Center for the luncheons down there.
Does he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's still pretty mobile yet. So
Yeah.
somebody picks him up, and then they drive him home afterwards. And so I mean, we went to the Peony at Christmas time, and he went on all the rides.
Good for him. That is awesome.
I mean, it was just one area, where they had all the food trucks and entertainment and stuff. They had this great big Ferris wheel, and I think they had another couple of rides too. But he did them, especially the Ferris wheel.
Wow.
I mean, it was so high,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for
I'm
him.
afraid of heights. So
Yeah, I don't do
after
Ferris
that
wheels.
antenna turning,
Yeah, really. Keep holding it.
Hey.
I love that all your friends are on the roof.
Yeah.
That's such a good story.
It's
And,
priceless.
What was like, so you grew up Catholic. Are you still Catholic today?
yeah, but I don't know if I'm a practicing Catholic. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really go to church. I go once in a while,
Yeah.
but other than that, I just do all my praying in the morning, and I go out on my deck and offer up my prayers, and
Yeah.
list off my names, community, and my family, my grandchildren. So I do all my prayers in the morning, and that, and I'll end up going out there in the evening, and then just like thankful prayers,
Yeah.
Gratitude
and that's
and
yeah.
yeah.
So what does ceremony mean to you? Or
Well, yeah, ceremony, like there's different ones, and they have to be like every ceremony's got different protocols that you gotta follow, and that like everything has to be right. Like for a woman, she shows up to a ceremony, then she's got to be wearing like a skirt or a dress, and that because it's disrespectful if you're showing up in dress pants or jeans or whatever, And so that's one of the first protocols. And then I had a name and ceremony last year, and that which I had to prepare for. It took me like 2 years to prepare for, and I shared my name with my granddaughter, and she did the bath. Like she went to the river to do the bath. I didn't do
Squamish, a
that.
cold water bath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, um, but there's a lot of like I had mass dancers, and then there's certain items that you have to buy for each of your mass dancers. And the thing is that the male has to hand these items over to the mass dancer.
Mm.
It can't be a woman going up and giving the mass dancer this because that's not right. Yeah, yeah, you need to have either a male member of the family or somebody to hand them over. We can go out and collect the things, but to give them to the mass dancer, they have to be given by a male. And that.
Right.
And blankets are a big part of our ceremonies as well. And like I got all these blankets to put on the floor, and which you step on to the blanket. And maybe you put 4 blankets down, but then you got to hire people to lay those blankets down. You can't lay them down yourself.
Right.
You have to actually hire people to do that part of the work. And also had to. I just got myself a floor manager that knows everything, knows all the protocols, and quarters play a big part of our ceremonies as well because you're going out handing out quarters. It's not a payment, but it's just acknowledgement, acknowledging that you're there and that. And our handshake, you can call it that too.
Mm-hmm.
And costs a lot of money to do the mask. You have to pay them a lot of money, and so you're pinning money like $100 bills. Not on the mask desk because you give that to them at the end, but your floor workers, you have to pin money on them, and you pin money on your manager, and you hand out quarters to um, everybody in the room, and then the lady singers, you pin money on each of the lady singers, and then
Why pin? Why pinning? I've seen it happen so many times, but I never quite understood the pinning.
the pinning. Well, it's just so that it holds up the money pouch
Yeah.
and that, and it's just the way it's always been done, with the safety pin to maybe it's just showing your wealth or something. It may have something to do with that.
So pinning is about paying them, right?
Yeah, you're paying them.
Right.
So, and you pin the money on them to show that they've been paid. And then they have quarter bags that are also pinned on them so that the family, we all gather around, we go up to each pouch and we drop in quarters as well. So.
Hi, my relatives. If you're enjoying this podcast, or if you have any feedback on this podcast, please let us know because we're always trying to get better at the same time. But especially if you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I think we have some really cool projects coming out that you might want to check out. Please follow us on Spotify. Share our reels as well too. That helps us out so much. And yeah, just check us out. Share the word. We're working really hard to keep this content coming for you. And the support helps us out so much, and we're so grateful. Thank you so much for listening. Back to the podcast.
Their granddaughter was telling them that they learned the word for butterfly, kalela.
Mm-hmm.
One of our cousins.
Oh, okay.
So she came home and told her grandmother that she learned this kalela butterfly, Grandma. It's Spanish.
Oh no. Oh no.
I know. She says, no, it's Squamish. It was funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, my boys used to come home and they would say Squamish words and that they learned at school, at the nursery school. So
Yeah.
yeah. I used to consider our community like a children's playground. Like you never had to worry about your kids being out there playing around and all that, right?
Mhm.
Of course, that's all changed now, you know. But as kids, we'd be out there playing kick the can or whatever and hide and seek. And it was just a lot of fun being a kid in our community, like the community of Aslahan. And but now there's so much drugs that have infiltrated our communities, and it's horrible. It's scary, you know.
Mhm.
Like I wish all that would go away, you know.
Frightening and
It is frightening,
yeah.
you know. So,
Like drugs directly in the community or drugs
oh yeah,
surrounding the
like
community?
people, selling heroin to our community members,
Yeah.
Outside
and then
influences and inside.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's just gotten really bad, and that's one of the things I hope that would change. But you never know, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you don't
Yeah,
put it out there too, right?
We'll add
Voice
that
it
to the
and
list.
yeah,
yeah,
voice it that's
mm,
it is an important piece.
yeah,
You
yeah. It's
know,
scary. So I mean, when I was a kid, it was just mostly alcohol, you know,
yeah.
and I think weed probably never came in until the late 70s or 1970, 71, marijuana started to become more open and that.
More popular.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So, I mean, you would sell nickel bags, dime bags. Well, nickel bags for $5, dime bags for $10. I mean, I probably seen every concert in Vancouver. I actually got to see the Doors when they came, their one and only concert.
Oh,
When they came to
Wow.
Vancouver.
they go to the
Nice.
Pacific Coliseum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
That's
I
a
mean,
small
it was a small venue, but
Yeah.
but I remember we were
I love the Doors.
like
Yeah.
all our community, all the young people my age, we were down on the floor in front of the stage, and that.
Yeah,
And
front and center.
yeah. I mean, I think I probably bought marijuana, but I never ever smoked it. I think I just bought it to get popular with the guys.
Oh yeah, buy
Yeah,
it and
but-
hand it around.
Yeah.
Share it around.
Yeah, I never really liked that stuff. I might have tried it once, but ew. Well, it was gross. So
You wouldn't believe how many aunties do it today.
yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
I
I'm
bet. Yeah,
am
I just
surprised.
don't. Just never was really.
Everybody does it today. It's more popular than alcohol now.
I remember
Yeah.
smoking it as a teenager, and then it was decades I never touched it until I went to see a doctor, and he's like, "Here's a prescription." That was his option
Oh
for instead of the the other
painkillers.
well the range of pills that they were putting me through anyway.
Yeah.
So they shifted it to that. So
Yeah,
it changed things. It
yeah.
was different.
Her mom told me to bring her to this concert. Like I told you, I always went to a lot of concerts, but she wanted me to bring her to see Sean Cassidy. I don't know if you know who that is or not.
Sean and David Cassidy.
I don't know Sean Cassidy.
You'll be
Yeah,
looking
if
them
you
up
look
after
it up,
this.
then.
Hold on.
He always wore these satin suits,
You
So I go and I bring her
Pants.
to the concert, and she hated it. She didn't want me to go. She didn't want to go. I think we were at the P&E at the
Yeah,
time.
it was
The
at the
concert was at the
Coliseum.
P&E.
Yeah.
Apparently, I had to drag her there because I promised my sister I would bring her.
Take her to the-
She went kicking and screaming all the way, and I was just, oh my God. So, and then maybe a couple of years later, a few years later, I told my sister I'm going to go see the Village People. And, oh, can you bring Yvonne? Oh my God, I don't
No.
know. So anyway, she went and bought a ticket and she made me bring Yvonne to the Village People, and Rick was there, right? I think my husband, we had just started going out, and he came to, because he loved me so much, he came to the Village People.
Yes.
And I had to bring Yvonne. And she went there kicking and screaming, I see them. I said, your mom bought you a ticket. I gotta bring you.
I know.
Never ever bring her to a concert.
Really? She goes to lots of concerts now.
Yeah, I was like shocked. I know. I brought her to 2 and I had to drag her each time.
Too many people.
Who's the Village-
And I'm like, YMCA and then, her and Uncle just sitting there, kind of like waiting when are we going to get out of here?
When is it over?
That would have been a crazy concert to see.
It was fun.
You know who Granny told me to she made me listen to this one song, something the Wooden Indian. What is that song?
Kalijah, the Wooden Indian.
Yeah.
She
made
used
me
to-
listen to that song over and over again when I had her over here. Yeah, she was like, because someone would call her Old Kalijah or something like that. I don't know. I
Oh
forget
my
the story. Yeah.
The cigar store Indian. I know that was a story, something that she got hung up on before. She used to refer to that all the time. I'm not some dime store Indian, she'd say. I'm like, Mom, what is that? So,
Wow.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Kalijah.
I remember we went at St. Paul's. I think it was the 100th anniversary or something like that of Canada. And so the school brought us to Empire Stadium. I don't know if you remember that or not, Empire Stadium. Well, there's a big soccer field there now. Like there's PNE, then right on the east end of it, there was a stadium there. But now it's a soccer field. So what else are they going to talk about again?
Mom,
100 years.
100
Oh,
year.
yeah.
the
Yeah,
100
right.
year.
The 100th year ceremony. But that's where Chief Dan George did his soliloquy,
Yes.
which became, like world famous. And that I actually got it hanging in my living room, and that like picture of him in the soliloquy.
He was fantastic.
Yeah,
It was at the 100-year ceremony.
yeah.
That's
of
where
Canada.
I first read it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know this. I've heard of the soliloquy, but I didn't know that's where it was.
Yeah, that's the first time he ever said that one. Was
Yeah.
that ceremony for Canada. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But he was good. He was a really good man. He was
He was one of our
entertainment.
relatives.
Like he had a band, like a rock and roll band. So they would play at our concert hall, like at Habit Dances there. And my cousin Bobby, he had those organ things, where you look like a piano or something like that. What do you call accordion?
Accordion.
Yeah.
Yes.
He had an accordion. So my cousin Bobby, he'd be. But Bobby always had this great big smile on his face every time he played it, And then another cousin, he had one of those big bass guitars, like he was like strumming and that. They were really good. We had a lot of good concerts up there too. With them. Well, it was dance. I thought it was concert, but and then our community had a band as well. And then up in the 1970s, my brother Rennie, he had his own rock and roll
Mom
band.
told me about that.
White Feather.
White Feather.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they traveled up and down the coast out to the Fraser Valley, getting invited to all these dances and everything. They were really good, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. We were trying to. I've been trying to interview Rennie for a while, but
Oh,
heard something happened to him lately. But
mhm.
Diabetes is
the
acting up.
I was researching him,
Oh,
I met him a couple times. He came
okay.
to my graduation ceremony
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
and stuff like that. But yeah, Mom told me he was in a band that toured. I was like, that's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah.
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 He's done a lot of great things. Like
When he
crazy.
graduated, when he graduated, like I told you, we had a couple acres of land behind our house, right? Well, I think your dad and my older brothers, my dad, they built a stage back there because Rainey said there was going to be bands there, playing at his grad party. And they had these white sheets hanging up behind the stage.
Yeah.
And so that you could do like a color show. So they had like these buckets below, and they had put different food colorings in them, so that when they appear on the sheets, it's kind of like a kaleidoscope of colors. And that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really cool. And he had about maybe 5 rock and roll bands play that night, and like I guess like the other students at school, they had their own rock and roll bands too. And so there was not only White Feather, but they brought in 4 other bands. And
Wow.
Yeah.
A music festival.
yeah,
Music
right?
festival.
I mean,
Exactly,
people
yeah.
heard the music all the way up to the British properties
Yeah.
up there. They're wondering where it was coming
Down the
from our backyard,
The
But no
rest of
police
the-
showed up or anything, It was
Wow.
just a really good party. And again, like it was the era of time, with the hippies and long hair and everything. And everybody got along with each other. And so no drama or anything like that. But yeah, he had the coolest grad party ever. There was never ever another party like that, that's for sure.
So when I do interview him, my first question is going to be,
You gotta tell us about this grad
Yeah.
very nice to meet
Festival.
you. Very nice to hang out. Thanks for blah, blah. What was your grad party like?
Yeah, right? Yeah. Oh, for
That'd be a
sure.
deadly story.
Yeah.
I know, and when Uncle Rennie tells stories, like he's so very serious now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's just this matter of fact talking.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. For sure. I've always gotten along with Rainey and that. So.
I think he's kind of a real. You're right. When you said peacemaker, that was kind of it really kind of.
Why
made
did you
sense,
laugh?
Right? Right?
I know, right?
It is. It's just that totally makes
yeah.
sense.
Who is he? He's a deacon. He's a deacon of the church.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know that's what he was destined to be. And that's
Right.
just
Who would've
holding me and my
thought?
brother apart.
Who would've thought, right?
It was so funny because me and my younger brother, we fought a lot when we were growing up, but when we grew up, then we just got really close. And so we got all of that out of our system.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
True enough.
Yeah. So I'm really close with him and that. So.
Would you like to
Yeah.
dedicate the podcast to anybody?
I don't know. I never thought of it. Yeah. I would dedicate it to my mom, because she played like a real important part of my life and that. She didn't get mad at me like my dad did.
That's great. That's awesome to dedicate it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Love it.
like even this one day I was outside and I had these clippers and we had a piece of lawn that ran along the driveway. So I went and carved my dad's name in there, Lauren. He got so angry at me, but I didn't know why. I was all proud of the work that I did. I spelled his name correctly and everything. He didn't.
And you wonder why.
What's with this guy?
Oh, Andy.
Oh, my face is killing me right now.
Iris! Start running. Like that. Like the Home Alone kid,
Gotta clear out again.
Oh man. But I gave up after that.
You thought you were doing something nice?
Yeah, I thought it
Didn't
was.
appreciate your gesture. No appreciation. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, well, I got to grow up with all my cousins. We were all pretty close. And we're not close anymore. We just grew up and we all just kind of like
Went your own ways
on
and stuff.
your own path and your own journey. So I see them once in a while, but not often now. Which is kind of weird because we were so close when we were kids, and then just
Sure.
all ended one day. So
When you
Yeah.
get together, is it like you guys just reminisce on the past, or like
we
you
just
never run into each other? Do you never run
no, never run into each other anymore.
in? Yeah.
Mm.
Haven't seen them for quite a few years, so but I guess that's just life. Go on and you meet new people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And you have families and kids and grandkids, and
yeah,
life fills up.
probably enough, I think.
Life fills up.
Was there ever any family traditions where everybody would come back? Like my family, we've always had the Drurys. We've always had family traditions where it doesn't matter what, we all come back. You know.
I don't know. It's like somehow me and my siblings kind of like we all drifted apart,
Mm.
After your parents died.
and I mean, I tried, years ago when my kids were little, to have us all come together for a Christmas brunch, and we did that for a few years, but I think it was kind of like money issues for them
Mm.
because you had to pay for the brunch and that. And I know I got stuck with the bill a couple of times. Hey, come
Yeah.
on now, you guys got to pay.
Yeah, collecting up at the end was a little different. No, I do remember
What? We got to
going.
pay?
I know. I remember, Auntie Teresa invited a couple of times to, having dinners and stuff like that
Yeah.
too. And
Yeah.
but it was never the same, I think, after both Granny and Grandpa died. That was
Mm.
I remember as a little kid having big family parties and all the kids would come.
Yeah, well, we'd
Mm,
have
kind of.
Christmas dinner and as a family with our parents and stuff. And we were really poor. We didn't really have that much money.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know who was Salvation Army or somebody. They would always drop off gifts at our house all the time. I remember this one night, knocking at the door. I think that year was a good year for us, so we had a bunch of presents under the tree already.
They show up.
They came by and, they had like a box full of presents and stuff. And then Rose recognized one of the guys from her class at St. Thomas, and she got so embarrassed. She just ran in the bedroom and hid under the bed until they were gone.
Oh no.
She was just so embarrassed. And anyways, and then I got embarrassed because they were dropping this toys off because school was supposed to be dropping off for poor people. But then we had all these ton of presents under the tree. Oh, we just put them with the other ones. Oh my God. And so, but then there was like, or there were other times where the fire department would come to our house with all these toys. And in the basement of our house, we had all these tables. So all the toys were piled up on top. And then we had our cousins from Skszwx come down, go through the toys, sort them out, and we let them take some back to their families, and then we invite the community to come into our house, and they went in and took whatever toys they wanted and that. So, and this one particular year, I wanted a doll so bad, and then the fire department stopped coming to our house, but they went up to our council hall and they brought all those toys up there, you know. And I remember going up there and I was all excited, and they handed out garbage bags for us to put our toys in and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went and I grabbed all these dolls and I piled them in my bag, and I'm going home and I got this big bag of dolls, you know. And so I get home and your mom was there. And so our mother says to me, she says, well, you have to give those dolls to Barbara because she's going to bring them up to the Seashell Indian Residential School and give them out. And I was like, what?
What?
She says, you can keep one. And they only let me keep one that had a missing leg on it.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
I was choked.
Oh,
I was so mad. And Barb took all the damn dolls and brought them up to Seashell.
Oh, Jesus!
Oh, I just went and I must have cried for days.
Oh,
You know, like,
that's
did you have
deflating.
damn dolls? You know, bring
I
them up.
worked for my dolls.
Bring them up and then give them on behalf of herself, you know. And well, I just stole this from my little sister, you know.
And you didn't need them.
Yeah. And I always remember that I was so choked at her. So
Holy.
yeah. So but yeah, and then or else we'd have people drop off clothing, you know. And so I always had to wear hand-me-downs or clothing that was dropped off by somebody, you know.
Yeah.
And so I really never had any new clothes when I was growing up. And I think by grade 7, bell bottoms were out by then.
Oh, yeah.
I begged my mom for a pair of bell bottoms, you know. I begged her because all my friends had the latest clothes and that was the
Yeah.
latest thing. But, you know, one day I came home from school and she told me go in her room and there was a pair of bell bottoms on the bed. And she did get me a pair.
Oh.
Probably
Nice.
sacrificed a lot of money for it, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I this song came out in the 60s. It was called Ragdoll by the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Every time I hear that song, I start crying because I start thinking of myself as a rag doll when I was a kid. Because she wore a hand-me-down clothes. That's what he's
Yep.
singing about.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
yeah, but we so poor.
We so poor.
We so poor. My cousin Judy and they think they were poorer. It's fish for breakfast, fish for lunch, fish for a snack, fish for dinner.
Now you can't get fish at all.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought?
Now,
Right?
Yeah.
now it's a luxury item.
Now it's a luxury
We
item.
didn't know it was a luxury.
I know it was like
Fish for lunch.
again.
I mean, I used to come home for lunch from the school. I'd come home for lunch, and then I remember Dad would have like a big pot of hard-boiled eggs, and that was our lunch. Full of burping eggs.
Oh, that's the worst part about eating hard-boiled eggs.
It is. That's true.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. It's not that bad when you're eating them, but after,
Yeah.
It's the return.
and you just feel like you have 8 eggs in your stomach.
Just
You're
sitting
full,
there.
but kinda, you know?
I eat 8 eggs.
You're not satisfied. You're satiated, not satisfied.
Yes.
Because we were so poor.
I'm gonna have to listen to that song after this.
Yeah. And then there was we had drive-in theater in North Vancouver.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Bring that back.
We actually where was it? on the next reserve over. No, it was off of Pemberton.
Oh, okay.
But we all used to sneak in there, all the Redskins.
Off of Pemberton,
Yeah,
right down here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you know, a lot of us would sneak in there, or else we'd hide in the trunk of the car and then try and
Everybody
then
would pile
open up
out.
the trunk, and then we all, everybody get out, and then we're sitting on the hoods and all that, or up in the playground area, and I think that was the greatest invention, was the drive-in.
I can't even imagine what this place must have been like back then, because like now you go down Pemberton, it's just Cityville, you know? Like
Yeah.
where would I can't even imagine where the space would be for a drive-in movie theater.
Because everything's so full now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's very,
Well, it's kind of like a forest, I guess, except for that one business, the drive-in. And A&W was still there yet.
and A&W was a drive-through.
Yeah, it
You
was a
drive up, you
drive
could
in.
park, drive in, you park in, and they bring you those long things that go
Trays,
through
yeah,
the
they
windows. of
come
the
out on
tray.
roller skates and
Yeah.
take your order and that,
Yeah.
and then bring the long tray. So, I like a big fresh mug. With all the
Have a
A&W.
creamy root beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our
Mm.
parents used to send us down to A&W so we could buy a big jug of root beer.
The big glass jars. Big
Or a
glass
growler.
jugs.
It'd
Yeah.
be so heavy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the Our Storytellers podcast. Whenever you want to come, you're a great storyteller. I think you can come here and tell stories to me all you like. I had a lot of fun. My face is killing me from laughing so hard. You are freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, we've been out having fun and that too, because I took her out for lunch the other day too, and I think we had lots of laughs.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good to sit down and talk.
we'll
Yeah.
come by anytime.